Hey guys, my name is Hab, and this is the T-44, the Tier 8 Soviet or Russian medium tank. I've got a confession to make. I absolutely hated this tank before I bought it again, quite recently. Then I got the engines and the absolutely gorgeous LB1 gun, and I have become a new man. I appreciate how fluent the tank is, how it controls, everything I want from a tank is in this thing, and with some bonuses added too. Most of the playstyle that can be used on the T-44 can also be used on the T-54 too, so they perfectly complement each other. I'll try and keep this tank despite all odds, since it's a great practicing tank too. I just wish I gave it the attention like I used to do before I bought the T-54. Also, special shoutouts to ThinkPad Desu for ruining my day. So, let's start with the garage. I admit that the season camo looks just, well, horrendous on most Russian tanks, and this thing is no exception, but I just don't have the money for the legendary camouflage, which is a shame because it looks pretty nice. The stock grind isn't really awful, but it could be better since you're stuck to an 85mm gun from the beginning, and if you didn't research everything on the IS, then you're also gonna have to grind the first 100mm gun after you get the better turret, and then the next 100mm, the LB1. I don't think I have to say it's absolutely necessary for you to get that gun, and you might say, but Hab, what about the 122mm? And to that I can safely say throw that gun in the trash. If you want a tank with a better 122mm gun, then play the T-34 2, T-34 3, or even the WZ-120 a tier higher. The 122mm on the T-44 loses in just about every single thing except the alpha compared to the LB1. In comparison, the LB1 is far more accurate. I'm pretty sure I tuned the dispersion to about 0.316. It also fires far quicker and has actually decent gun depression, 7 degrees. That's one of the things that I really like about the T-44, it's the gun depression that makes it just that bit more flexible. The mobility is also sweet. The tank can consistently reach 50 km per hour, and the traverse ratings are just ridiculous, seriously. Over 60 degrees on the tracks and something over 50 on the turret. You just can't get circled with these kind of stats. Since it moves fluently as well, the T-44 is a really nice alternative to the other tier 8 mediums. Some people might say the armor is where the tank takes a hit, but I'll actually have to disagree with that, because the protection mobility gun trifecta that I'll put up here is almost flawless. The armor is pretty trollish. It isn't something as ridiculous as the T-54 Mod 1 or the rather sturdy Type 59 turret, but it's still a very competent armor profile which other tier 8 mediums can't really relate to. The whole armor isn't exactly huge in strength, but it's something around 175mm of armor. That's a very respectable figure, and if you angle it just a bit and use your gun depression, it's not too difficult to get it to about 200mm plus. All of these factors are why I think the T-44 is so flexible and that it's a perfect jack of all trades in tier 8. It allows such a large amount of playstyles that the tank is almost idiot-proof. It's really noob-friendly from the beginning, but knowing how to play the tank increases your skill level on the tank by such a large amount too, if you somehow understand that. And that's really all I can say about it in the garage, being honest. Showing is more important than telling in this case, so I'll show you some replays and how I play it. Note that it should be very similar to the T-54. Right, dead rail, so this is a battle that I've gotten before I got the season camouflage, but I don't think it really matters since the season camo looks absolutely horrendous anyway. This is a tier 7 battle where I think I'll just show how much the T-44 can also spot, because its view range is the best out of all tier 8 medium tanks, and probably in the whole tier, almost 300 meters. Now, you can see I didn't immediately poke out. It's because I'm very careful about other tanks that could appear, especially the SU-101 and the Emil, which probably just hit me there. So I don't know where did I miss though. And the AMX CDC just makes this fatal mistake of actually going up against me and trying to get a shot. I mean, one shot in, and then it kind of ends up like this, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're already starting to notice the similarities between the T-44 and the T-54, especially that they both play in this weird playstyle like, play it like you stole it, which is pretty much what I'm trying to apply to this thing. I mean, sure, the gun may not be completely amazing with the penetration, which is why you load a lot of APCR, like in this case, because the APCR is actually decent, but other than that, the tank supports so many good playstyles. No kidding. And I'm pretty sure I get destroyed near the end of the battle, but I did most of the spotting for the whole team. And, well, there's not really that much to talk about in this one. I mean, the only thing that's basically left now is the KV-5, which is an actual problem. But, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't have time to prepare this beforehand. I just wanted to get this out of my head, since I had quite a lot of problems recently, and this is the first thing that I wanted to get rid of. Oh hey, nice cupola shot. But I mean, the gun depression is why I would slightly prefer this above the T-54. Because the 2 extra degrees actually help you a lot in flexibility, so you can poke out and do stuff like this, but with the T-54 you just can't do that. You would have to poke out totally. And of course I overshoot it, and then, well, I get a... the KV-5 just charges me instead of firing. Yeah. And that's about it for this one. I also have one more battle on Black Goldville, I think, but this pretty much shows just how much the T-44 can do. A patrol duty, 2200 damage, and of course I lost credits because I'm running full provisions and I fire a lot of pramo, because it's just demanded from this thing. Right, Black Goldville, another tier 7 match, although the tier 7s are definitely far less plentiful than the tier 8s we have on the team. I also had a lot of internet issues during this one. I honestly don't know why, because I was running this on a pretty reliable connection that doesn't have any issues whatsoever. But I digress. This one is from the time that I actually got the season camouflage, and this time I'm gonna play it a little more aggressively to show you just how well it can end up if you're being cautious yet aggressive at the same time. Now you might notice the Pershing here, and while it could be an easy source of damage, I immediately fluff up the first shot, so yeah. That's when the bad internet starts kicking in also, so yeah. It just pokes out and I don't know why I even fired there, to be honest. But there we go, now that the Pershing is there, bad internet kicks in again. And I'm starting to get a bit upset at this now. Yeah. But the T-44 also doesn't have all of the shiny things. The module health on a lot of the modules is just absolutely awful, the fuel tanks especially. And probably the biggest... ammo rack, nice. Probably the biggest issue is the weak ammo rack is also on this thing. So... I can't. So, like, when you're fighting against things like Vindicator, you absolutely have to make sure that you're not showing them your side, otherwise you could get instantly ammo racked. So, I mean, that should be tanking 101, but you'd be surprised how many people actually don't do that. So, I got myself a nice position where I hope to farm a little bit more damage from the Comet, but that doesn't happen anymore, and so I try and set my sights on the Vindicator, which just hits me for it. Thankfully it was only HE, so I didn't get flogged for like 600 damage, otherwise this battle could have ended very differently. So the Vindicator's on low health, and instead of being more cautious, I just move up and try and finish off the Vindicator. What I don't notice is the IS-6, so I immediately have to change the targets and load Adrenaline, which is a pretty important choice in this battle. And even the IS-6 is just absolutely impenetrable from the front with this gun, so you have to load the Pramo, and oh, lucky bounce. But, being honest, that's kinda all it. I really wanted to make this some more in-depth, but I've already had more issues trying to get the damn video editor to work, so I'm actually surprised that it did something. And well, being honest, this is kinda about it. My name is Hab. If you somehow liked this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. I'm sorry that this has a much lower audio quality and a much lower quality overall, but I genuinely didn't have any more time nor the mood to fix every single issue I had in this video. Anyway, see ya.